hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. No matter what you say, what you do, when I'm alone, I have to be with you.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do something I've never done before, and that is the YouTube made me buy it video. I thought I'd talk a little bit about things I felt pressured into buying by other YouTubers. If you are new here, hi, my name is Kendra. I post 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and if you want to see them, you should definitely hit the subscribe button down below. You don't want to miss out, you know? Also, if you have not followed me on them already, I will put my social medias on the screen right here. It's just Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, all KendraCus, all public, all for you to follow. Alright, let's just quit rambling and let's get right on into the video. So I put everything in a little Sephora bag because I had to like compile my thoughts and then throw everything in here. I had to go through like my makeup collection. There's a lot of things that like were hyped up on YouTube that I felt that I needed to buy, but these are like the things that I felt the videos I watched were so hyped up, and now this is within the last 4 years or so, all compiled into this one video. So I couldn't pick everything, but I picked the things that were like the craziest, most talked about items that I can remember. So why don't we start off with everyone's YouTube made me buy it, and that is the Urban Decay Naked palette. I only have the Urban Decay Naked 2, and I obviously got some really good use out of like this shade and then these shades. I didn't touch these shades too much, although I did use this one quite a bit and the Suspect quite a bit. These used to be my favorite shade in the world for my crease or like all over my lid and just have like a taupey eye. I used to love that. I did that for my wedding. I can't remember why I used Foxy so much. I think it maybe was just to set my eyelid after I primed it. Half Baked is, you know, Urban Decay's famous shade, and Booty Call. Before I ever got a real highlighter, I used that as a highlighter. Little known fact. I don't ever get any use out of this anymore. I kind of wish I had the Naked 1 palette because I feel like I would get a lot of use out of that. It's a good palette if you like cool tones. That's why I just don't get any use out of it anymore because I prefer warm tones. Was the Naked 2 palette worth it? I think so back then, but it wouldn't be for me now. But if you like cool tones, I think it would be worth it for you. While we're talking about palettes, let's just move right on into the Modern Renaissance palette by Anasazi Beverly Hills. If this is not everyone's like favorite, top 5 favorite palettes, then you're doing something wrong. I'm just kidding, because it's warm tones and maybe not everybody likes warm tones, but I have always been obsessed with this. I've had this for a little over a year. I think I bought it springtime of last year. I'm not quite sure, but I do know it was sold out every time I went, and then one time I strolled in and it had just stocked the shelf, so I was like, okay, mine. Put it in my basket. I'm obsessed with this palette. Most people are. Formula is incredible. There's not really anything else to say. I get use out of this all the time, so it was worth it. The last eyeshadow palette I have in here is the Tartelette in Bloom palette. This palette is really awesome, and it's really awesome for travel as well because it has that huge mirror. The formula of the eyeshadows are all great. Super blendable, super pigmented, super creamy. The only one I don't love is the shade down here called Funny Girl, just because I feel like it's not very pigmented, it's more chunky glitter. But the Firecracker shade right here is super buttery and super pigmented. This used to be my favorite palette like of fall and early winter last year before I really got into all the eyeshadow palettes I have now. I definitely think this eyeshadow palette is worth it. You just gotta keep in mind it's like really just neutrals. So you're not getting anything wild out of it. The most wild thing you have is the Firecracker orangey bronzy shade. Orangey bronzy shade. That's like the most wild thing. Like you can definitely get a warm tone dye out of this, but it's super neutral. So do I think it's worth it? Yes. But if you're looking for a palette that maybe has more options, maybe don't go for this. But was this worth it for me? Yes. Okay, to prime my eyes, the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. This is honestly the only eyeshadow primer that works for me. Yes, it was worth it. It lasts forever for me too. And I have the one in Eden, and this cancels out all the redness or veins on my eyelids. This is full coverage. I love it. Yes, it's 100%, 1,000,000% worth it. Okay, moving on to highlighter. Anasazi Beverly Hills Glow Kit. This is the shade Sun Dips. It wasn't worth it for me. I was so hyped when I got it at the time, but realistically, this shade is even slightly too dark. This shade is much too dark. This shade is literally, it's dark. It's called Bronzed. And the shade Summer is like the only shade that really works for me. Sometimes I would mix these two or mix like this one with a little bit of that. But to be honest, they're just, the formula is really awesome, but I wish I never bought this. I just don't think it's worth it. one highlighter for $40, really, because like the only one that really works for me is Summer, the gold shade. It's not worth it. But if you have a medium to dark to deep skin tone, somewhere in that range, you get a lot more use out of her glow kits, so I think they are worth it for you. But if you're fair, these are amazing if you're a working makeup artist, but if you're not, you're just not gonna get use out of all of them unless you like force yourself to use these on a weekly basis, like on your eyes or something, you know what I mean? The next highlighter is Becca Champagne Pop. Now the funny thing about this is a little too dark for me, but I can get away with it. Like, it doesn't look horrible. Sometimes I'll mix it with Becca Pearl. I really like that. It's a stunning highlighter and Becca's formula is incredible. So yes, I think it's worth it. I just wish it was slightly lighter because it is a little bit too dark for me. But I do think it was worth it. $38 is kind of expensive for a highlighter, but I've had this for almost a year. No, 10 months. And I've loved it the whole time. And I have so many highlighters, so I haven't like hit pan or anything on it, but I do think it's worth it. The last highlighter I have is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Skin Frost in Ice Cold. This shade was like all I wore for a really long time, like fall of last year and winter, early winter of this year. I do think this is worth it. You get so much product for such a decent price, like $29. It is expensive. This is the biggest highlighter I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, and it's really awesome for travel because you have a huge mirror, which you can do like, literally I've done my full face in this mirror on a lot of travels I've been on. Some of his highlighters don't have the greatest formula, but most do. I just think the ones I didn't like, only ones I didn't like were Princess Cut and the Snow Cone. Crystal Ball that he came out with in the summer collection. For some reason, those formulas, they're really chunky and they don't swatch well. Like, you can't pick up a lot. I don't know, it's weird. But every other highlight I've tried by him does have an amazing formula. So I do think they're worth it if you were looking to invest in a good highlighter. ABH Brow Wiz, is it worth it? 1,000,000% yes. Is it incredible? Yes. Am I all out and I need to buy a new one? Also yes. This is the shade Taupe. This is the best thing for my eyebrows. I've been all out, so I've been using my NYX Micro Brow Pencil recently, but this is genuinely the best thing I've ever found for my eyebrows. So yes, I think it's 100% worth it. Okay, the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Powder. This was like the first high-end translucent powder I ever bought. It comes with so much product. I can't remember the price. It's probably like $35 or $38. So it is up there in price. Is this a good powder? Yes. Does it depend on your skin type? Yes. I think if you have really dry skin, don't buy this powder. Maybe look into the Kat Von D loose setting powder and the Cover FX loose setting powder. I gave this to my sister. She loves it. It's a good setting powder. It makes your makeup last and it really sets your under eyes. Whoa, I just kicked that. But I also think it's a little bit more drying than other powders, so keep that in mind. I don't use it anymore because of how dry it is on my skin, but I do think it's a good powder. It's just like, is it worth it? Yes, but it depends on your skin type, so just keep that in mind. Let's talk about another face powder, the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. I just remember people raving and raving and raving about this, and I was so excited to pick it up. I actually got it for Christmas last year, and I've used the heck out of this. I love it. I'll mix these two for my face, and I'll use this as a bronzer. It's so stunning. I love the luminescence in the powders because they don't let your skin look like it's dry, you know? That was a really weird way of saying that, but they just keep you from looking super dry. They give this natural, like, beautiful luminescence to your skin when you put this on. I've used this all the time. It was 100% worth it. It's pricey. I think it's like $62. So if that's way too pricey for you, then don't buy it. There are other powders that do a similar thing. I just think, to me, this is worth it. The ColourPop Super... I wish I could just hold on to something. The ColourPop Super Shock Shadows. These were raved about on YouTube, and for a very good reason. They are very good quality eyeshadows. They're very pigmented. They last all day. One swipe and you've got like full pigment. I really truly think these are worth it. I love these. They're like $6 on ColourPop.com, and they have so many shades. 100% worth it. We have the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. This was raved about on YouTube. I love this bronzer. It is a little dark on me, so I use it more so for like contour, or I'll just make sure to go in with a really light hand and blend it out very well. Also, it smells amazing, so there's nothing wrong with that. I love this bronzer. I've had it for quite a while, and I do see myself like always loving this bronzer. I just think it's a really good bronzer, and I think it's worth your money as well. The next bronzer slash contour product that was raved about on YouTube is the KendraCus sculpting powder. I have the shade light. They didn't always have a shade light. I remember it used to just start at medium, which would have been too dark for me. Like so many YouTubers, I watched so many videos of them using the medium shade as their contour, and it always looked so amazing. So I was so excited when they came out with the light shade. I know Nikki Tutorials talked about the light shade, and I think that's how I first found out about it. Do I think this is worth your money? It's like 40 bucks, which is pricey, like really pricey. I think yes and no. Like I think you can find other contour powders that are just as good, maybe a little less good, like not as good, but I do think it's a really, really nice contour powder. So if you're looking at investing in a nice contour powder, yes. If you just want something to get the job done, there are so many other powders that will do the same thing. I don't know, like yes and no, it's worth it, you know? The Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. Do I really have to say anything else? Do I think it's worth it? Yes, it's like $10 or $11. It's such a stunning blush, one of my favorites. Makes you look so alive and fresh and awake. I 100% think this is worth it. Just go buy it. I think you need it. Okay, so next we have the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I think this is 1,000,000% worth it. I don't have a lot to say about it. It's super glowy. It looks amazing under all foundations, but if you have oily or normal to oily, I would probably just stay way far away from this just because it's gonna make you look really oily, especially throughout the long day. But if you have normal skin or normal to dry skin or dry skin, this looks amazing underneath all foundations. I wear this all the time. I'm almost out of this one and my Becca First Light Priming Filter, and I'm gonna cry. Why would they go out at the same time? What are they doing to me? Do they understand? That means it's $80 to buy both of these again. Anyways, I'll stop crying, but I love this. I think it looks amazing under all foundations. I highly recommend it. It's worth it for me, but if you have normal to oily or oily skin, it's probably not worth it for you, so I'd stay far away from it. My last product I wanna talk about is the Hourglass, what is this, the Vanish Stick Foundation. I have the shade Bisque, which is slightly too yellowy dark for me, but I can get away with it, whatever. I love this foundation. I love doing light to medium coverage with it. It's a little too hard to get it to be light coverage. It's almost better to just be like light to medium. Really easy to go full coverage with this though. The only thing I will say is it does start to get dewy throughout the day, even on somebody who's really, really dry like me. So you definitely have to set your entire face with a good setting powder and like set your face with a good setting spray. But I really think this is worth your money. This looks amazing in photography. This and the Too Faced Born This Way and the Fenty Beauty Foundation, those are probably my 3 foundations for like if I'm gonna take photos or if I'm gonna be out for a long day, those look the best. So I 100% recommend this. I think this would work for you if you have oily skin, even though it gets dewy. I would just recommend like a really good setting powder and to really set your face. But this is such a good foundation that I think it's worth it for all skin types. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below if we share any of these obsessions that we bought because of YouTube. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching my videos and supporting me, and you should hit up my Instagram, my Twitter, my Snapchat. I'll leave the tag right on the screen right now so you can just type that into your phone and go find that on those social media platforms. Okay guys, have a great morning, noon, evening, day, night, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!